Australia.
Round one, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Yoda! Yoda! Sonic boom! Yoda, fire! Yoda, fire! Yoda! Yoda, flame! Yoda! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! You win! Round two, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Fire! Yoda! Yoda, flame! Sonic boom! Yoda! Sonic boom! You win! Japan! Round one, fight! Sonic boom!
Hadouken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken!
Sonic boom! Sonic boom!
Hadouken! Hadouken! Hadouken!
Sonic boom! You win! Perfect! Round two, fight! Sonic boom!
Hadouken! 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 Hadouken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken!
Sonic boom! Sonic boom!
Hadouken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken!
You win! Japan! Round one, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! You win! Round two, fight! Sonic boom! 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 You win! Perfect! Brazil! Round one, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Round two, fight! Sonic boom! 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 You win! USA! Round one, fight! Sonic boom! 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 You win! Round two, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! You win! USA! Round one, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom!
Hadouken! 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 Shoryuken!
Sonic boom! You win! Round two, fight! Sonic boom!
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Sonic boom!
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Sonic boom! Sonic boom!
Shoryuken! Shoryuken!
You win! Perfect! China! Round one, fight! Sonic boom! 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 You win! Perfect! Round two, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic Boom! You win! USSR. Round one, fight! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! You win! Round two, fight! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! You win! USA! Round one, fight! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! You win! Round two, fight! Sonic Boom! 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 You win! Spain! Round one, fight! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! You win! Round two, fight! Sonic Boom! You win! Round one, fight! Sonic
Tiger.
boom! Sonic boom!
Tiger. Tiger. Tiger.
Sonic
Tiger.
boom!
Tiger. Tiger uppercut. Tiger. Tiger.
Sonic boom!
Tiger. 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 Tiger.
Sonic boom!
Tiger. Tiger.
You win! Round two, fight! Sonic boom!
Tiger. Tiger. Tiger.
Sonic boom!
Tiger. Tiger.
Sonic boom!
Tiger. Tiger.
Sonic boom! Sonic boom!
Tiger. 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 Tiger.
Sonic boom!
Tiger uppercut.
You win! Island! Round one, fight! You win! Perfect! Round two, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! You win!